Summer Daze is the brand new summertime release from Calvin Klein. It's certainly left me dazed, but also a little bit confused. Let me tell you why.
If you love fragrance as much as I do, head over to my online store luxparfum.co.uk. You'll find my favourite brands plus brands you can't find anywhere else in the UK. Link is in the description.
So this is the first CK One Summer release that I've ever bought. I don't know why, they always look pretty interesting. You know, the bottles with the sweatbands around them, they always do something that catches your eye. Maybe it's the colour of this bottle, maybe it's the orange and the yellow. Straight away the marketing starts to work because it's definitely evocative of summer days and sunsets and holidays and cocktails and all that good stuff. Well, I wanted a bit of that in my life, so that's probably why I ended up buying this. If you've seen the whole video I did where I unboxed this and gave it a quick spray to get my first impressions, you will know that the opening of this I really enjoyed. So before we go any further, let me show you this very nice looking bottle and the notes. It's a pretty small note list. In the top we've got kumquat, in the mid there's mint and tea, in the base white musk and vetiver. So I'm just going to come out and say the opening of this is magical. It is everything you want out of a summer fragrance that comes in an orange bottle. I get all the orange, I get the citruses, so I get orange, I feel like there's mandarin in there, maybe even some mango as well, some grapefruit perhaps. And the balance of the opening of this is just right because it's not too bitter and rindy and zesty, but there's still a nice lively zinginess about it. But what I really love about this is it's balanced with this quite smooth, rounded sweetness, and it just smells juicy and invigorating. It makes you want to drink an orange drink and quench your thirst. And actually it does remind me of some sweets, some candy that I used to eat when I was a kid here that we have in the UK. They were called Chewit, and also we have some called opal fruits, or Starburst is what they became known as. So imagine that sort of chewy, creamy candy that you would put in your mouth, and it would just give you that burst, that explosion of juicy, fruity, creamy flavors, and it would literally, as the advert said, make your mouth water. Well, this sort of does an olfactory equivalent of one of those sweets, I would say, because the initial burst is so poppy and punchy and eye-openingly refreshing that it's a joy. Actually, it really is just a stunning open to a fragrance, so pleasurable, and projection is pretty good. This fills a room in its initial spray, and also along with the kumquat and all the other orangey, zesty citrus things in this fragrance, there's a nice little tinge of greenness to it as well, so the sweetness just doesn't get too much. It is really nicely balanced. I don't know if the pop, if this refreshing, invigorating quality, obviously some of it comes from the citrus, but the tea and the mint listed in here, I think probably is contributing to the enormous lift and invigorating quality that this fragrance has. It just really opens your eyes up when you spray it. So you might have gathered, I quite like the opening to this fragrance. I think it's probably one of the best openings to a summery, freshy, citrus fragrance that I've ever smelled. I would go as far as to say that. But what you will want to know about is what happens after that. Well, the initial bit is what got me all dazed, and it's the dry down that left me a little confused, and if I'm honest, unfortunately, a little bit disappointed. I get a magical hour, magical first hour of wearing this fragrance. The second hour, the magic is still there, but the magic is fading, shall we say. And after that second hour, magic's gone for me. I don't know if it's just my skin just drinking it up too fast. I could probably get better longevity if I maybe put some lotion or whatever tricks you can use to try to prolong the life of a fragrance. And I'm hoping that there'll be many people out there that say they get great performance. But sadly for me, it lasted around 2 hours, and then maybe a third hour as a bit of a skin scent. So yes, it was disappointing in the performance, and that is the biggest flaw of this fragrance. But the opening is so wow of this. It's that good that I'm willing to forgive its piss poor performance. I am. I would very happily spray this fragrance on and get those magical 2 hours and then just be satisfied at that, or spray it again. and every 2 hours just keep spraying this fragrance. If I went out for the whole day in the sunshine during the summer, I would bring this bottle with me, just keep it in a bag, and every time I just needed a little bit of freshening up and I wanted to maybe just cool off and feel invigorated, I would just spray this as if it were a deodorant maybe. You might not want to spray it too much like that. If you spend the full retail like I did, which was £46, it's definitely going to go down in price at some point. If you bought this next summer, then it's probably going to be a lot cheaper. So yes, performance leaves something to be desired. It is very fleeting. It's just made up of a lot of notes that don't hang around very long. These citrus notes and the mint, they're very lively, volatile, Hesperidic notes that just smash you in the face initially, and it's beautiful when it does that. But it sort of does that, and then all the energy's gone, and it just dies, and it fades. And that happens with a lot of citrus fragrances, things like Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino, which is a lot more expensive than this. They sort of give you an amazing initial blast, and then they do fade quite quickly. So that's not a new thing with fresher fragrances. But like I said, I can forgive the awful performance on this because the opening is so good, and I probably wouldn't recommend spending £46 on this, but if you can pick it up for a little bit cheaper than that, maybe about half that price, I would say it's well worth picking up because it is beautiful. If we go into a bit of the fragment, I've talked about the performance. I will let you decide whether you think it's worth picking up based on awful performance, or maybe you would get better performance. Maybe it's just my skin, so it could be worth trying it out. So I think anyone could wear this. I think it's sweet and lively enough to be very youthful, but I don't think it's too sweet. It's certainly not got too much of a bubblegummy quality to make it too youthful for slightly older people like myself to wear. So across the board, I think anyone could wear this, as is in line with the CK1 idea. Either sex could wear this fragrance equally as well. I'd wear this just as a very casual scent in the daytime. To me, it's not got the gravitas and the oomph and complexity and lasting power that I would want out of an evening fragrance. But daytime, casual wear, like I said, throw it in your bag, treat it as just a bit of a refreshing spray after a couple of hours, every couple of hours, then I think it very much has a place in people's fragrance collections if you think of it in those terms. The price, again, I've already mentioned, £46 for this 100ml bottle. That is a lot for the performance you get out of this, so I wouldn't recommend spending full retail on this unless you were just very eager to discover this amazing opening and you thought it was worth spending full retail. But personally, I don't think it's worth £46. So I think that pretty much is everything I wanted to say about this fragrance. If there's anything I've not mentioned, please do leave some comments down below and ask me the question. I will do my best to reply to you. Overall, amazing opening, awful performance, but those two things sort of balance out to make it a decent fragrance in my eyes. So there you go, you have all the information that hopefully you need. This is now available in the UK. I'm not sure about the US. I bought this from the perfume shop. I'm sure it will be available in other places as well. By the way, if you didn't know, in the UK the perfume shop is now in Superdrug stores, so I actually bought this from a Superdrug store. So let me know what you think about this fragrance. Are you interested? Do you think you would pick this up based on the fact that I didn't really get good performance? Good gym scent, by the way. I think a couple of hours in the gym, perfect. So let me know what you think about this fragrance. If you've got any questions, do let me know. Like the video if you found it useful, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.